Pelicans lose 121-106 over the Orlando Magic, and we are going to update you on the Brandon Ingram injury. Let's talk about it.
First took away. Yes, for this. Get your money's worth now.
Presented by the Birdsall Lawfirm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk Located, 918 Poydras Street by the Superdome. Give them a call at 504-523-5413 if you or someone you know has been involved in an accident. The Birdsall Lawfirm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk. Chaz, Ross, and Lito joining tonight. First and foremost, man, just praying for the best type of news here for Brandon Ingram. Has a really scary knee injury happened early in the third quarter. You know, we're hoping for a hyperextension, but Willie Green after the game tonight, so they don't have an update, but he is getting an MRI tonight. So, you know, just prayers up for Brandon. But Lito, we'll start with you.
Hang on, prayers up for McNeese too, because there was a beating.
I did not think we'd start with McNeese tonight.
Can we talk about the highest order for my hometown college there tonight?
Yeah,
so prayers up that they can recover from what happened on national TV.
One time for McNeese.
Yeah, they got crushed. Leo, go ahead with Brandon.
Hey man, listen. First and foremost, like I feel sick for him because we talked about, you know, how he's thugged out some injuries this season that I've never really seen him, you know, come back from. Like I think it was the Knicks game where he rolled his ankle and he came right back immediately. I hate injuries, period. I'm never gonna feel good about that. And you know what I'm saying? Like he was fuck me, Chris, and Coach Mike literally just did a show about this. Yeah. So I feel terrible about Brandon, man. Hopefully damn, that's crazy. Hopefully it's just hopefully it's just hyper extended and that's all it is. Everything come back clean.
Yeah. Chaz, go ahead.
Yeah, it was shitty. Like I think for me, the replay, I was truthfully more worried about the knee to the hamstring, like when we were texting and stuff. But yeah, it's tough. Hopefully it's just a hyperextension because that's an injury you see often, you know what I mean? And guys tend to recover quickly from that. It's just unfortunate because you got a guy who, he played through a real nasty ankle tweak, and he's a person who just seemingly been battling through whatever ailments. I'm sure everyone's dealing with something. He's been battling through, and it's really unfortunate, to have his first. It's not a major injury from what we know at this point, but seemingly serious injury this late into the season. It's just like, fuck, we were almost there. Like if you're him. So thoughts and prayers out to him. It's just such a shitty part of the game. And it was on a freak accident of all that. If he's a step later, he probably avoids the injury altogether. So thoughts and prayers out to him, and hopefully he's back soon. It's nothing serious at all.
And look, we still don't know, like it could be a hyperextension. We don't know. We'll know more tomorrow. But Ross, the whole thing about what was so exciting about this run that the Pelicans were on, and it still may happen, but I'm just saying what was so exciting is that you were finally going to see Brandon and Zion in their first playoff series, and you had the team fully healthy, and they're they have a chance for the 4 seed, and now you got this injury. And look, this once again, we don't know much information, so we're just reacting to what we've seen. It just sucks to see Brandon go down like that tonight, because I thought you got to see Brandon and Zion fully healthy for 60 plus games this year.
Well, yeah, and you did get to see it. And I thought, I know we were kind of critical. It seemed like maybe on the last show of maybe Brandon scoring or shooting or whatever, but I really thought that Brandon had made a concerted effort to improve other areas of his game. I think even some of you said he had bought in with the words you used, and it's unfortunate. I think, regardless of competition, regardless of who they were playing, there were some good wins over the last month, 2 months with this team healthy. Cross our fingers. I mean, but even crossing them, you're still, even hyperextension, you're looking at weeks, not days. And there's just not that many games left in the season, man. It's really, it's unfortunate. at times we are critical of guys on this show, but we ain't never wishing for somebody to get hurt. And I really felt like even though they weren't playing that, in my opinion, that well together yet, I thought Brandon had really made strides in other areas of his game to complement the team toward winning. So yeah, I mean, right as you start to really hit a stride, especially with next week coming up, Celtics, Bucks, whoever, OKC maybe. I wanted to see this team at full health late in the season in playoff type games,
especially at home too. Like
at home. It's disappointing. There's no two ways about it. It's disappointing.
Yeah. Lito, back to you here from Natalie. Appreciate you're always here, Natalie. Can we win without BI?
Win what exactly? That's my rebuttal. When would we? Are you talking games? Because yes, you can win games without them. But I don't know if that's that. I don't know if that's specifically her. Like her plateau is games.
Do you think they can win playoff series without Brandon?
No.
So we're hoping. Obviously, we're hoping.
I don't know if I agree.
Let's talk about it.
6 minutes in. 6 minutes in.
Let's talk about it. Take it to court. Nah, I mean, are you saying this because of what? Just I guess tell me your thoughts. Why you think that?
Well, I mean, look, Trey's played really well. The rotations shrink a lot in the playoffs. I think we've all been curious, and not even been more than that, right? I think we've all said at varying times throughout the year, whether it's, and this is not exclusive to Brandon. This is Zion too, right? I think we've all used the terminology to some degree that there were lineups that were better when those two guys didn't play together. That we've seen offensive outputs that looked sustainable when they weren't on the floor at the same time. And again, this is not me saying Zion. I'm just repeating things that we've all said, right? And so, I mean, look, are we disappointed that Brandon got hurt? Yes. Like, is he important in a playoff series? Absolutely. This is also an opportunity. Trey Murphy's asking for a 9-figure deal. It's put up or shut up. You want to show up? You want to get paid? Because we've been saying like, 9-figure, maybe 4 years, $100 million. Chaz last show said he's probably looking for the Darius Vassell contract. Well, it's showtime. You go ham here for the next month. Do something in a playoff series. Now we might be talking about something more than that.
Look. So my response is, I feel you, and I hope that he could do that. Like, I'd like for him to get paid handsomely. I just feel like at the end of the day, though, you're gonna get more Jose and you'll get more Najee.
What, Lito? Oh, what do you mean?
What do you mean? What you mean? What I mean? He's gonna give them more minutes. Justin, this is not. I'm not making this up. You have the stats to back this up. He will give them more minutes. They will see an increase of playing time.
So, for instance, Trey Murphy today got 29. If he starts, he's probably getting 30. If it's a close game, probably 35, 36. I mean, how much more can Jose play? He played 18 minutes tonight. How much more can he play?
Is that a real question?
The answer to your question is less.
How much more? I'm asking, like, how many more minutes? Like
he played 20. He played 18 a night. I could see 24, 25. I'm not even lying to you.
Where? 24, 25 minutes.
Justin,
I can see that.
You act like you act like you've never seen this before.
It's crazy how much the world
I disagree with you because I think JV needs to get more minutes now.
And you think that's gonna happen? Realistically, you think that's gonna happen?
Like if we're trying to win basketball games, yeah, I would think. No.
So my question, my rebuttal to that is: have we not been trying to win basketball games this whole season, and he's only got?
But you've been seeing Brandon.
The last few weeks?
But you've been seeing Brandon play sometimes the 5 and like rebounding and switching on to bigs and things like that. Like, you're going to need JV to do that now if he's out for an extended period of time. Like, playing Jose 25 minutes is not going to make any sense.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just talking. I'm literally just talking to you. Like, that would not make any sense.
I agree with you, Justin. I'm just telling you what's gonna happen. I'm not saying what I want to happen.
Yeah.
I'm
Jazz is
I think like we both just like no, I'm saying I think we all looking at Justin like, no, Justin, this is what's going to happen. It's not like, you know, what we want or what we think the smart thing to do is. We think it like, yeah, you know, to me the ideal scenario would be you play Hawkins and you play Ryan Moore and you lean into the JV, you know, you lean into that trio. Somebody said earlier, you just shouldn't see the Najee, Jose, and Larry minutes. Like that's just such a devastating trio of guys to have out there. So I would like to see them lean more into offense. But to Natalie's question, can you win without them? I think I kind of think you've been winning without them this whole time. Like this last month or so. I mean, I just, you know, I think what he's this last month. I'll just say this month. I think he's kind of giving you some stuff that's a little bit more replacement level. So not that he isn't much better than what we've seen this month, because I think, you know, when the rubber meets the road, that you'll absolutely need Brandon. I just feel like if there was a time, if you had to lose him at any point, it's probably best you lost him against a bunch of teams you're going to lose to anyway. It's probably best you lost him against all of the good teams. You know what I'm saying? Like if we was playing what's the terrible team? We was playing the Wizards 8 times in a row, then you'd be like, hey, you might need Brandon because you don't know what's gonna happen with the Pelicans. But with these teams, you probably don't have much of a chance against anyway.
You don't think fully healthy we had a chance against OKC, Boston, or Milwaukee at home?
Nah, not healthy. Because this starting lineup is still really bad. Like if you look at tonight, Brandon wasn't like setting the fucking world on fire. I mean, he 14 points on 12 shots. You know, I just think you know, it's probably best to, if he needed to take a break. Of course, this is not a type of break you want, but if he needed to take some rest, this would probably be the time because that starting unit is shitty, man. Like again, and I don't even think the Magic played well. So you'll get to see if Trey is ready to make that ascension. Hopefully Herb can continue his play. Hopefully you see more you know, JV centric offense and these guys can continue to push forward. But it was tough sledding anyway. Like it was an uphill battle anyway with a bad starting lineup. So now you kind of get to see how it's going to look until BI comes back.
Yeah. Make sure to smash the like button. We'll get to the super chats later in the show and y'all's questions and comments. So, Lito, obviously, we talked about Trey Murphy. Let's talk more about Trey Murphy. He's got to be the guy that steps up. He'll be starting, obviously, for Brandon Ingram. So, what do you, I guess,
you sure?
What?
You sure?
Oh, I didn't know who that was. I was like, what was that?
I'm about to say,
What are you talking about?
That was the chat.
I'm not sure what. I'm not sure of what.
You sure really don't? You don't think if Dyson James Daniels is healthy, he might not plug in?
Dyson the Demon Daniels.
You're telling me Dyson? Come on, guys.
Justin.
Guys.
Justin act like
stop. Last episode, you guys were arguing that he might start for JV in a playoff game, and now
Who said that? No one said that.
No,
we said
I
a couple. That. Okay, Chaz.
No one said that. We had like a 15-minute conversation about that was like a reasonable thing that Willie might do. Now you think Willie's favorite player is hurt, and you don't think he might start his second favorite player?
Ross, Dice hasn't played in 2 months. I was just going to start. What are we talking about?
I'm not saying he's going to start tomorrow. I'm not saying he's going to start tomorrow, but if Brandon's out for a month.
You don't think Trey Murphy starts?
I think Trey Murphy should start. But when you guys are talking about Najee and Jose and all these other guys, like when you start having to fill in minutes, like who would you rather fill them in with?
Who will we personally have a feeling, or what's gonna happen is what we're saying right now.
Well, I personally know the answer to both of those questions, but it's something worth talking about. I think just assuming that it's going to go how you think it's going to go is not always like the ideal thing with this team. But continue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You know exactly what you're doing, Alita. I mean, Trey's going to start. Trey's going to start tomorrow night in Miami.
Yeah.
Do you think he can? Obviously, well, I guess what are you looking forward to him? Like, where's he got to improve here? Where's he got to step up? Because Brandon, we talked about it, he was struggling a little bit offensively the last week or two, but defensively he was bringing it. Well, that's not Trey's strong suit, right? Like Trey's not the best of rebounders. Weak side helps, et cetera. What Brandon was doing exceptionally well over this last month. But we know Trey can change a game. And him and Zion have a good connection. So, I guess what are you looking forward with him over these next, I guess, couple games where he's most likely going to start at the 4?
Yeah, no doubt. So we all know, like you said, he can shoot the ball. He's now got to bring intangibles with that to pick up Brandon's slack on where he can leave his imprint on the game. So Trey not only has to score, but he's got to rebound. He's got to get others involved. He has to get a couple assists. He's got to create easier shots for other people, whether that just be swinging the ball next man in the rotation, or actually drive and kick, drive and pocket pass to the big, and he's got to play defense. He's got to play very respectable defense over the next couple weeks or however long Brandon is out, because technically, like, Trey's been getting free roam, right? Like, he's just got to come in and be a mercenary. He's got to come in and shoot the ball. Like, they've not asked a lot for him. Tonight, you got 3 rebounds, no assists. Now he was shooting the ball well. It's 3 for 5 for 3. I don't have a problem with how he played tonight. He had 1 steal. I would like to see maybe a block and a half from Trey. Maybe a block and a half is too much, but a block from Trey. I think these are not far-fetched things to ask from him. And to Ross's point, right? If you want a 9-figure payday, this might be the way that you get it.
God, Ross. Trey got the free throw line 7 times tonight too.
I'm sorry. I was working behind the camera there.
I thought you.
No, that wasn't like it. That was external. I agree with him. I think this is an opportunity for me. Like for Trey Murphy, I think that there's a real opportunity for this offense to get better with Trey Murphy in for Brandon Ingram. I really do. It's not a negative to Brandon and some of the things he can do. But I think this offense can improve. And not just improve a little bit. I think it can improve a lot. Would you rather fill them in? Oh God, well, yeah, man. Heavy, man. I'm gonna that's a big question. But I think it's a big opportunity for Trey. I've seen his confidence continue to grow. I actually thought he played pretty well tonight. So we'll see. I mean, I think we need to, I was answering some texts from some friends that follow the team, and they were asking about, a tough stretch coming up. And it's like, I'm not going to judge Trey Murphy on the second half of tonight's game when somebody gets hurt and you got to fill in, and there's not like, there's a difference, right? Between somebody, in the third quarter, you got to sort of come in and make some huge difference. That to me is an unrealistic expectation. I'm going to judge Trey Murphy as a starter with this group over the next 3 games, 4 games, 5 games over the next week, right? If the defense slips, I expect that. If the offense continues to improve, that to me is what's important. And so let's see what happens. Miami's a tough matchup always down there. But I want to see what happens over the next 3, 4, 5 games, specifically on the offensive end. This frees up space. It does. Whether folks like it or not, this frees up space for everyone to operate. So let's see what happens.
So Chaz, you've been talking a lot about the I guess the overall starting lineup being, I guess, a net negative, whatever it may be. What do you, to Ross's point, over these next 4 or 5 games, do you think offensively you're going to, as Ross said, has more space and probably more pace? But I'm also interested because Trey now starts and you have Jose Najee, Larry, but you saw JRE get some run tonight. Is there another guy that we're not talking about that may start getting more minutes here in the rotation with Brandon possibly out for a couple weeks?
I think Hawkins can mimic a little bit of what Brandon does in the mid range. My preference would be just going all offense because I mean I like JRE, but it's just like it's a strong word. I think he's tolerable. I just for me I would lean totally into offense and that's truthfully where I think this team. When you go ahead, Ross. Go ahead.
No, I want to ask you a question, Jazz, because I've been curious about this since we started the show. When you say that, what exactly do you mean? So let's just assume
into offense.
Yeah, let's assume Trey goes into the starting lineup. What does that mean? Because we've seen Trey and Larry-ish kind of be the first two guys off the bench here for the last week. What do you like? Just expound on what you mean by like that we would go all heavy lean into offense moving forward.
What I mean more so like I feel like a guy like Matt Ryan is passable off like defensively, right? I think the Pelicans play solid enough team basketball but I think against good teams, it doesn't matter anyway. You know what I'm saying? I think good teams more often than not have shown that offensively they're going to get to where they want to get and they're going to dominate the Pelicans. So I think the Pelicans' best chance at being competitive in these games is to try to keep pace with them offensively. Like tonight, I think we shot maybe 19 threes total, something along those lines. And it's just like every time we lose, it's the same. It's almost like the same script. It's like we can't get enough threes to kind of equalize what's happening. Now you're introducing another potentially, because again, we don't know what's going to happen with Trey Murphy if he's starting or not. But you're potentially introducing another.
This is insane.
It's insane that we don't know. It's insane that we don't know. You're potentially adding another 3-point shooter into the lineup. Hopefully, I would really like to see Matt Ryan in the game. Just because I don't even mind Jose playing because Jose, he's confident enough. Thank you, Talent. With shooting threes and things like that nature, you at least need the threat of 3-point shooting out there moving forward. Because again, I don't think the Magic played like well. I think they kind of played like a middle of the pack team, and once they turned it up just a notch, we couldn't really compete with them from an athletic standpoint, from a 3-point shooting standpoint, from a facilitating standpoint, and truthfully. Again, prayers to BI. When BI was out of the game, the team played a bit better. It was a bit more of a competitive game, got the lead down to single digits. Those are just the facts. So, yeah, man, hopefully Willie Green makes the right adjustments lineup-wise.
So what does this even mean? What is Holly Grove Steve even talking about?
Maybe if Ryan wasn't trash at practice, he'd play. You got motherfuckers that's trash in the game that play.
Holly Grove Steve.
Wait, what's the comment?
Maybe if Ryan wasn't trash at practice, he'd play. Come on,
man. What Holly Grove Steve know, man? Justin,
you see Holly Grove Steve at practice regularly?
Holly Grove Steve, come holler at me if you.
Come give him.
Make sure you smash that like button. So Lito, let's talk about it. But do you honestly think? Yeah. In your opinion, Jordan Hawkins should maybe get some looks here with Brandon being out. You're gonna need some offense coming off the bench with Trey starting. Do you think a guy like a Hawkins, a Matt Ryan, will see any playing time here? Realistically,
are you asking my personal opinion or what's gonna happen? That's all I need to know.
Well, Lito, I don't think you can play 8 people. Like I don't think you can play 8 guys for the next 16 games. So what do you think happens?
I'm sorry. I was trying to see how many played tonight. You played everybody.
Oh, you can't count tonight. You can't count tonight.
It was just one person missing.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like it was multiple people. He went to everybody but one person.
I mean, you're gonna count the Matt. You're gonna count the Matt Ryan. Okay.
I mean, listen. I think to answer your question, I think Hawks should have been playing while BI was playing. Like I think that he should have been playing with starters. I think you should have seen Hawk with Zion more. I think you should have seen Hawk on the floor with Trey. So if you're giving him an opportunity now to play, yeah, I mean, shit. I tell you what, Hawk will take it. He ain't gonna shy away from the moment. I don't think he got a Oh, he did. Yeah, he shot a shot tonight. But like, yeah, man, I'd love to see that. Look, and listen, Justin, let me take up your brigade real quick, bro. Give my Ryan a couple minutes, man. Like, unless Hollygrove Steve sees something different, but like,
look, if we're having a serious conversation, though, because I agree with Chaz, like, if you're gonna lean into all offense, what, Ross? If you're gonna lean into all offense, then these guys got to play. Like, you got to live with bad defense. You got to live with defensive liabilities. You just have to. But if you're gonna lean on all offense,
Justin,
you got to play those guys.
I've been saying. Remember when we talked about my basketball palette evolving, and I said I personally like Herb is gonna play enough defense for everybody. Dyson's gonna play enough defense for everybody. Go full offense, lean into the offense. Like, you go ahead.
When you say full offense, like, what's like?
I want you to play shooter. I want you to have perimeter threats on the floor at all times. I want guys who at all times you don't know who to help off of, because any one of these people could go nuclear at any moment. Whether that be Herb, I'm sorry. Whether that shit, I'm not sorry. That man was shooting 40% from three. Whether that be Trey, whether that be Hawk, whether that be Matt Ryan, I want to see Zion on the floor with these. Damn, that's crazy. All right,
Got you, dog.
that's fair. That's fair.
Always lurking.
That's fair. No.
I thank the Lord. I thank Coach Harbaugh. Fucking love you, man. Love the shit out of you, man.
My bad. So, yeah, man. Shout out to the Durag Bandit. I really feel like, so look, I want Zion on the floor with perimeter threats at all times. I want them.
You can't have Zion on the floor for 48 minutes.
I mean, it don't have to be 48 minutes. It can be. I'm just saying, when he's on the floor, I want him surrounded with people on the floor who can shoot.
I think also it's kind of like how people mentioned like how people were saying with the Phoenix series a couple years ago, and people like, well, you just drop Zion into that team. That's crazy. That's a great team, and it's like, that shit didn't really work out that way, right? But so I'm gonna say, if you look at last season in December, or November going into December, it's pretty much the same team right now, because BI was out. And you add into that, Herb missed some games. You add into that, CJ was coming back from COVID. So to me, this team should be better than average, even now. You add in the Matt Ryans, you add in the Jordan Hawkins, you add in Herb's three-point shooting, being a three-point shooting threat now. His team should be at least competitive down the stretch. So I'm not too worried about that, mainly because, again, we weren't beating good teams anyway. We wouldn't be beating good teams while healthy. So it's like, what's it really matter? Like, you know what I'm saying? We wasn't necessary. The only thing that really matters is like the human element. It's like, you hope Brandon's okay, but it's not like, oh God, now we can compete. It's like, nah, you wasn't really. You was like the last two games against real teams, you got ran off the court.
Look, Dallas, it would be. I don't know how you could play JV less now. Like, you got to feel like, I know Brandon was struggling offensively, but you still have to fill this void. Like, someone's got to be able to score. There was a lineup out there tonight when usually it was Brandon's second team, and it was like I was looking around like, I don't know how we're gonna score. I think it was like Jose, Larry, Najee, maybe like CJ, and
Justin,
somebody else.
Explain to me, why do you think this specific injury impacts JV at all? Like, because I'm curious, and I'm not asking that
because I thought Brandon was doing a good job.
I actually have no clue. I'm curious what you're like, why you think this is going to mean more minutes.
So that lineup I just mentioned, when Brandon's usually in, got crushed on the boards. You're going to need somebody to rebound. Brandon was rebounding very well. Go look at the third quarter where Brandon ran that second unit. They got crushed on the boards. You're going to need to be able to get rebounds. JV, as Lito's been saying for 3 fucking years now, is one of the best rebounders in the league. You're going to have to lean in. You're going to have to do something different now. If Brand's out for weeks, which I'm hoping for, not that it's a year, ending a year-ending injury, like you're going to need to be able to rebound. I keep talking about this. Like, rebound is one of the most important things in the game.
But JV and Brandon already played together a decent amount. That's what I'm saying.
But
It's
when
like,
Brandon was running the second unit, JV's usually out, and you have Larry in, and Brandon's usually been filling that void of rebounding. You're going to need to play JV more. JV can't play 18 minutes tonight. He can't.
Shouldn't have been playing 18 minutes any night. But
he can because he did.
That's the thing, bro. And it's funny, like Ross just said. Same thing with BI's injury. It's like, bro, nothing has fundamentally changed at all. Like, I know you say we're gonna need some scoring, but it's like, I don't know if the 15 points a game this BI was giving us this month was gonna really make a difference. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully, I don't really know. But the thing is, all of this shit that should have already been happening, it just ain't happening anyway. And so nothing's fundamentally changed. I feel like.
Also, Dallas Stark, he's not supposed to be a small ball five. I don't know. I mean, whatever. Lito, let's go to break here. We're gonna go a minute here from DraftKings. Lito, I want to talk about how physical the Orlando Magic were tonight, and is that kind of like the game plan moving forward with these teams you're gonna start seeing with the Pelicans? So let's go to break, and then we're gonna talk about that, and then Code of Collection. We'll talk about the 3-point attempts as well. Then get some fan questions. The NBA season is in full swing, and when I can't get enough of the action on the court, I spice things up by betting on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BOOT. New customers can bet $5 to get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code BOOT. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/promos for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
That's a good question, Chris. Smash that like button. Also presented by Company Bar located 4600 Birdsall Street. All right, so Lito, Magic made it a plan tonight just to be as physical as possible with the Pelicans. I mean, a lot of charges tonight from Orlando. Saw, I think Zion got called for it twice. A lot of holding, just a lot of physical. They were very physical tonight. And we've talked about this. What, Chaz?
I'm laughing at Joe. Shout out to Joe.
We talk about how physical kind of like the game plan is to be physical.
Wow.
Okay, y'all are killing me right now. What?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're laughing at that. We didn't want to be the one to put it on the screen.
Yeah, I didn't. It wasn't me.
There you go. So if you were do you think the game plan's out where if teams are physical now with the Pelicans, that's kind of like the blueprint to beat them? Because you see with Orlando, you've seen kind of with Los Angeles, the Lakers when they beat, like, it's just you make Zion's life hell, and then you're looking at like, hey, ref, you're gonna call every foul, but we're gonna be as physical as shit tonight, and then that kind of gets us a little bit out of sorts. That's why
no. Don't say a little. Don't say. You don't have to say a little bit.
We were out of sorts tonight.
Yeah.
Is that the game plan?
It goes back to Golden State last year
with the Draymond stuff.
Yeah, it's been the game plan. You never adjusted to that portion of the game. Like, you still looking for refs to call it a particular way, and when they don't, you get frustrated, and then you get Zion with 8 turnovers. I will say this in regards to that, though. I will say one thing about it. I absolutely appreciated Zion putting his shoulder in people's chest tonight and just saying, "Get the fuck out of my way." Like, I've not seen him play through the contact like that before. Usually he's looking around for a call. Tonight he was just more so like, shit, I'm gonna make it happen. And I'm gonna make it, especially like a good defender like Jonathan Isaac. He made him get the hell away from him a couple times. But yes, I think they do need to. I mean, something has to be. You need a variable in that situation. Like, to be honest, it's a tough spot because I don't know what you do. The refs aren't calling it how you should see fit to call it, and that's been like that all season. So I mean, let me ask you this, Justin. As a coach, what do you do?
Yep.
What do you do in this situation?
Well, I actually thought Willie was pretty vocal tonight on the sidelines. I mean, he's still got to take that extra step and get teed up, but like at the end of the day, I felt like Orlando got away with a lot more than what the Pelicans did. And I'm not a guy that's gonna be here and bitch and complain about the refs. And you got your ass kicked tonight. They outshot you from 3. They dominated you on the boards. Like you lost the game, but it wasn't because of the referees. But I'm just saying, and AD talked about this on the broadcast. Just consistency. If you're gonna call it one way on one end, call it on the other end. Like we talk about the moving screens and all this bullshit. Like JV gets called. And look, JV and Zion, they're a moving screen. But they're also doing too. Wagner's doing it. Isaac's doing it. Like everyone's doing it. So if you're going to call that shit on one end, you got to call it on the other end. And I saw that from Willie tonight. The charges, like, what are y'all like? I don't understand. If I'm trying to avoid you, you're stationary, but I'm trying to avoid you. I hit you on the side. Why is that a charge? I thought it's got to be squared up in the chest. I still don't understand why.
You talking about the last one that Wagner took?
Zion had 2 of them. Like
no, I'm talking about.
He took one. Suggs. I think Suggs took one on him.
Okay,
right?
Suggs.
Where
okay.
He gets to the side or on the side of him. They call that a charge. The Wagner one, I mean, yeah, I think it's a charge, but I don't know the rule. But Ross and Chaz, want to hear y'all's thoughts about the physicality from other teams, and that seems to get this team out of sorts because guess what? When the playoffs come, you think this is physical. Wait till the playoffs happen.
I think you hit the nail on the head. It's why that we talked a little bit about this last show, but it's why I'm not just totally comfortable yet about the way this team's going to play in a playoff series, right? Because we've seen these type of teams give us problems, right? We just saw with the Bulls at home, especially when they went with Drummond, right? And you had Desumnu and you had Caruso and you had Drummond all in there at the same time. That group gave us a real problem. Now, CJ didn't play, but that group gave us a problem. We've seen that Lakers group when it's like, this team isn't quite that good, but it's Taurean Prince and it's LeBron and AD, and it's a physical game. Alito alluded to the Golden State game last year where they turned that thing kind of into a fight. We just saw 2 weeks ago or 2.5, 3 weeks ago when Miami kind of turned it into a fight. I don't think this team is really prepared for that type of game. And I think that more than anything else worries me in a 7-game series. What if someone turns a 7-game series into that? Can we respond? Can we change over in a very short amount of time? That really makes me worried because I just have so much evidence of us losing one side of it. And it's hard for me to point to games where I'm like, nah, that was a really physical game, and we kind of rose to the challenge, and we became the aggressor, and we, did X, Y, and Z. I mean, I'd have to really go through the schedule to try and talk myself into a few of those games. But on the losing side of it, I can point to 4 or 5 or 6 right off the top of my head. That's worrisome for me.
And look, Chaz, they don't get easier because tomorrow you're going to Miami. You're out, and Brandon ain't going to play tomorrow. And we all know what happened with Miami, what it was a couple weeks ago. So you could definitely expect a physical game tomorrow night. So I'm interested to see how this team responds. But do you think kind of the blueprint's out with how physical they are with Zion? Because it seems to get Zion frustrated. Because here's the reality of the situation, Chaz. Zion's not going to get every call. So there's going to be frustration during the game. And when you get him a little bit frustrated, maybe it knocks him off his game. Do you think this is kind of the game plan facing the Pelicans moving forward?
I think it's been the game plan the entire season. I mean, I think it's been the game plan for years, truthfully. Like we go back to one of my classic moments. The whole I think we played like the Bucks or something. And I was like, get these bums the fuck out of here. This is Zion's team. It's like Lito, the God spoke about it the last game. It's like this team, you look at a team like the Bucks' physicality, you look at the wingspan that the Lakers have, you look at Orlando and their physicality, their wingspan, guys like Jonathan Isaac. There are teams that will be able to kind of make the Pelicans very uncomfortable. And in my opinion, the way you counter that is you have to make them pay from beyond the arc. Like that's the only real equalizer. If Zion isn't gone, he missed a couple that I thought he should have made tonight.
Yeah.
Turnovers was fucking crazy, like crazy. But I think you have to make them pay from beyond the arc. I think that's just the way the game is played right now. I think even you would see some of our, like, this is something Giannis had to deal with. Ultimately, at some point to win, especially in a playoff atmosphere, you had to hit big shots from beyond the arc. You had to just find ways to get points in other areas. Like CJ has to get to the line and make his free throws. JV had to get JV to the line, knock down his free throws. There's other avenues to, racking up points. It's just the Pelicans too often, I think Ross said this, everything's just so fucking simple. Everything's just so simple. It's the same actions. It's the same slow when Brandon and Zion are in the action together. It's the same slow ass, tired ass bullshit pick and roll from 77. And it's just like, yo, okay, we're not worried about this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there needs to be a bit more. You look at what Orlando was doing. Some of them passes were just creative. I don't know how much of it was the Pelicans' lack of attention to detail, and how much of it was the Orlando just having tremendous basketball IQ and passing ability. Like, it was, it was a sight to see. So, I think the Pelicans just have to be better with making adjustments. They have to be better with making adjustments, recognizing what's happening in the game. You don't have to marry the same fucking lineup. You know what I'm saying? If Hawkins don't got it going one night, that don't mean you just abandon the entire fucking thing. If Matt Ryan don't got it going that night, that don't mean you abandon it. It's the right course of action to take. Sometimes it's just not going to pay off. So I think the Pelicans really need to make that happen personally.
So there's been a trend here, Lito, about the 3-point attempts. Once again tonight, 6 of 20 from deep. Magic 14 of 36. I mean, that's 24-point difference in 3-pointers. You lost by, I'm not saying it's the game, but you lost by 15.
Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got a couple shooters on your bench that you could have probably.
Here's the thing. And here's the thing, actually, now that I think about it. They said he shot 20. Matt Ryan shot 2. And Jordan. So Matt Ryan shot 2. So he probably shot about 18. I'm not counting garbage time. So he shot probably about 18 3-point
18, 17. Yeah, some shit like
17.
that. Yeah.
You're not going to usually win games when you shoot 17 times the other team shoots 36.
Yeah. Like, and again, you had shooters, you had 2 shooters specifically in Matt and Jordan that you could have added some variety to a lineup, just a threat. Just a threat. Not necessarily saying he's got to play 25 minutes, but I'm saying
just a threat. What does that mean? Can you explain? What do you mean by
just
threat?
Just the appearance of him on the court is a threat to, like, team. When he comes into the game, teams are saying shooter. Like, you know who that guy is. Like, you are very observant of what his skill is, why he's in the NBA. Like, there's film we know as the Pelicans. We know what he can do, right? So when he comes into the game, you are aware of that. When Hawkins comes into the game, not only is he a willing shooter, Hawkins will put the ball on the floor. He will attack. I just think you need some perimeter aggressiveness from guys to kind of offshoot that, because the Magic are a good defensive team, and you might not be able to out defend them. You can't beat them with defense, right? So, like, just kind of lean into the offense, and I think Russ texted that at one point. I don't see a reason why Hawkins or Ryan hadn't gotten to the game at that point. I mean, and in the end of it all, they only got 6 minutes apiece in the game. Like, it's not like there was a ton of minutes being allocated.
Yeah.
Can I add one thing as well? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So Willie Green says he's getting an MRI. We don't know any news on Brandon. Hoping for the best though. But go ahead, Chaz.
And also, like, to Lito's point, is like, again, with the Pelicans, we don't really have any victories this season where we've trailed, like, late in games and we come back and win. It's like
Grubb had a stat like we're 0-13 trailing in the fourth quarter or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's another shout to Grubb. That's another, like, making of, yo, you're not figuring out the math equation. Like, you know what I'm saying? As far as it's easy to it's cool when you're hitting singles, but if you're not getting the stops, if you're trading twos for threes, it's like, how often have we seen this? Like, the Pelicans need a three. Antonio Daniels know the Pelicans need a three. Joe Myers know the Pelicans need a three. Everybody know the Pelicans need a three. Dribble, spin around, mid-range fadeaway, dribble, ball off your fucking foot out of bounds. Like, it's just the Pelicans just don't have the wherewithal sometimes to analyze the situation. I think that's from coaching down. And that, to me, last thing, I know you mentioned Willie Green earlier. I thought that first offensive foul by Zion, where he kind of he grazed the dude and he kind of
It's not a charge.
To me, that was the fucking challenge to make.
Early in the first. So, Chaz, I agree. I thought about this. I kind of agree with you, but then if you only get one, this is so stupid. It's the dumbest thing in NBA. No, you get one. If you get it right, you get it back. That's the problem. You can't burn, and that's the conundrum, right, Chaz? Because look, it's an egregious call. It was a bad call, but if you lose that challenge, you're out of challenge the rest of the night. And I think there was a bad call when Najee hit the ball out of bounds, and we had to review that one, and we got that one correct, and then he got that one right, so then he used it on the Zion block charge, and I think in the fourth quarter. It's the dumbest rule in sport that if you have one fucking challenge in a 48-minute basketball game. Basketball is probably the hardest sport to officiate. I would say it's probably one of the hard. It's like, is it harder than football? Football, basketball is like right there. I would say. I mean, football you could call holding call.
Probably,
like
I'm gonna say baseball too, because you got umpires trying to call balls and strikes from.
We see baseball now. It's not hard anymore because ball and strike, whatever. But like baseball, like you have 3 fucking challenges. Like you can just there's only so many bang calls at first, second, or third. Basketball, I mean, there's holding, there's grabbing, there's pause, there's just everything. I caught it. Pause. Let's get some super chats. So Don, always appreciate you here. By the way, speaking of stats, the Pels are 0-16 when trailing after 3 quarters. Shout out the Bird Rights and David Grubb. So they're now 0. Yeah, they're 0-7.
Wait, hold on. Say it again. Say that again.
The Pelicans are 0-16 when trailing after 3 quarters.
That is an unbelievable stat for a team with our record. What and our record is 42-25 or something like that.
42-27.
That's terrible.
And we are we have not come back and won a game when we are losing. That's a crazy stat. Shout out whoever that you said it was Grubb.
Yeah.
Grubb. That's a good stat. That is a damning stat too. Good.
Yo, I got a stat that's crazier than that. I got a stat that's way crazier than that, but it's not the time. It's not the time.
Chaz, by the way, I wanted to say this, Chaz. I have my notes. Your Joe Lewis comment in Spaces like 2 years ago is your greatest of all time.
I got to make some shit about that. Yeah.
Yes, Lino, go ahead.
When is the last time the Pelicans beat Orlando?
We beat them in
preseason.
I
don't know. Joe, always appreciate you. Yep.
Shout out to Joe, man.
We got to pretend we rotations of minutes, Joe. Jock, let's talk about Ross. A lot more dribbling from CJ. It's what you can expect. What's the box score say on CJ?
Yeah, 18, 6 for 12.
18, 6 to 12. He's gonna have to step up. Ross, he's gonna have to step up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
6 to 12, 3 of 6 from deep.
Yeah, it's tough. I think
y'all send us super chats.
Yeah, Chaz, you tease.
Yeah, it's like 5 of them.
Save it for the members. Save it for the members, Chaz. Save it for the members.
Look, I'm gonna answer the question, but I'm gonna pull this comment up.
Oh, okay. I'm explaining the foul call. Like there's holy.
Oh, I thank the Lord. Oh, I thank Coach Harbaugh. Fucking love you, man. Love the shit out of you, man. Did this for you.
Oh, it was a foul. Don't worry. It was definitely a foul. it was a foul. Look, for me, the important thing for CJ is that he's knocking down open jumpers. I I didn't know that he over dribbled as much tonight as he did in those. Like, remember, I mean, last week, right when he came back from the injury, it felt like when you could just see the discomfort.
Right before that Portland
like,
game, right?
Exactly. And it was, you could like, if you were watching the games, you could really see him like reverting back to bad habits. I didn't see the same over dribbling that I saw in those previous, it was like 3 or 4 games in a row, kind of right when he came back. I didn't see it as bad tonight. He still went, I don't know, whatever, 3 for 6 or 3 for 7 or whatever it was tonight from 3. For me, with CJ, it's about volume 3-point shooting, because that is what we are going to need from him in the playoffs.
When you say volume, what do you mean? I mean, I know what you mean, but like how many 3-point attempts are you talking about?
I think CJ's got to shoot 8 a night minimum. I think CJ and Trey have to collectively shoot at least 15 threes a night, at least, because when you think about the rest of the team, and I could argue, and I really could argue it's more than that, because the rest of the team, Zion's not going to shoot any. Brandon's going to shoot maybe 1 or 2. JB's going to shoot maybe 1 or 2. Right? Like when you start, Herb, is he going to shoot 5? Or is he going to shoot none?
He's starting to take.
I don't know.
How many is he shooting a night in the last 5 or 6 games? Not a lot.
No,
Maybe like 2, right? If that.
Herb's offensive attempts have just fallen off the map. So, and that's probably a conversation for a different show. But for me, CJ and Trey that is the volume, and if he's making them, we really, really need CJ McCollum to shoot as many open threes as he can possibly shoot. We really do. He's a good shooter. Ignore the random games when he goes 2 for 10. Just ignore him. This dude's been in the NBA for 12 years or however the shit long he's been in the NBA, and he's a career 40% shooter. He can shoot the basketball. That's the only thing I really care about from CJ. It really is. If he takes 8 threes or more, then he played okay for me. That's truly how I judge him.
Yeah. Who knows? I'm just sure there'll be a lot of doctor takes, but hoping for the best for Brandon. Hoping for the best from Brandon. What else we got?
He didn't give nothing more than Doc on YouTube. He didn't say like Doctor.
I love that.
Dr. Phil or something like. No, you know me.
What was Herb?
His financial advisor told me.
Yeah, we gotta get a doctor.
Hey, Lito, you know you know what? We had this in the
5 a doctor.
we had
5.
the
Where you
highlight
at?
reel, but
Dr. 5.
what'd you think of this, Lito?
Herb put it through. Now Z back into the game. Nice bounce. What a hammer! Baby!
That was
Herb put it through. Now Z back into the game. Nice bounce. What a hammer!
Cap, before you talk, Lito, what I really liked about that action, so they run the ghost screen. They run this action like 4 or 5 times. And look, I like it, but they need to vary it up. They accidentally varied it up because Trey wasn't open, so he throws it to Larry, and then Trey cuts back door. So that's like another like action to this action. If Trey's not open on the ghost screen and pops out, they switch it. You can throw it quickly into Larry, and Trey can back door, and this is what leads to a dunk. So let me play one more time.
Herb put it through. Now Z back into the game. Nice bounce. What a hammer!
It's kind of like
an
a
accident.
Did that get deflected? Now that I think about it, did that just get deflected?
wait. One more time.
Maybe he didn't.
Herb put it through. Now Z back.
Shit, that got deflected.
Yeah, that was not a pass. Yeah, no, it was an accident then.
Well, now I'm thinking about it, like that's a great all right. If he's gonna fight over, you just throw it right into Larry, and Trey just goes back door. But go ahead, Lito.
It was kind of a flare ghost screen, right?
Yeah, it's that they run it. So it's the ghost flare screen. They run it probably 3 or 4 times a night for Trey. It's the only set play they run for Trey. I wish they do different variations of this.
Repeat that one more time. Just repeat that. Just repeat the last sentence.
I wish they run.
No.
More set plays for Trey.
It's the only set play they run for Trey.
It's the only set play they run for Trey.
I got you, Jermaine. I got you.
Sorry. Thank you.
Ross.
It's the only set play they run for Trey.
I want to talk about the dunk.
we got a doctor in the place. We got an actual doctor.
It's just doc. This might be the actual. This might be. You just said doctor on YouTube. Like maybe this is him.
Well,
Yeah,
Doc
what's
called
good,
it.
Doc?
But listen, I want to talk about the dunk, but I just gotta say, is that not crazy to anybody else that is the only set play that he gets ran for? Is that's not wild to you, Justin? Hold on. Before you answer that question, that's not wild to you, but you believe that JV would get more minutes?
Man,
Go ahead. You can talk about the dunk, or you,
yeah,
Justin,
I want to talk
Santa
about.
Claus. Justin, does Santa Claus exist?
I thought I want to credit Trey's wherewithal with that play because he understood his wingspan. He didn't really cower with the dunk. Now, you know, the league is crazy. Some players would have stopped about 2 feet away from the rim and then a spin around fadeaway jumper. That would have happened with some players, right? But I appreciate that he's not afraid of contact. Earlier this season, you know, sometimes last season, we kind of worried about Trey's reluctance with physicality. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit, you know, would he, if a guy's right there, was he willing to like play through the contact? Right there, he rose above the contact. I thought that was really good. And we see some Pelicans do that. Like, I don't think this is not a tough team. I just think physically they can be overmatched with length, pause, and just IQ. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of teams they have quicker feet, cutting off lanes and things like that. And you know, I just think the Pelicans, I think they'll be okay.
As far as the dunk though, I mean, he didn't care about that man's family. That man just came back from a horrific, catastrophic deterioration of his shooting form. He almost ruined that man again.
He's talking about Cal?
I'm talking about that's false. That was false.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know why he did that. I don't know what he jumped for, but God bless him, because we wouldn't have got the highlight if he didn't. So shout out to you.
Fully healthy looks like for Trey Murphy, 100%. Got about 5 more minutes for some super chats. Appreciate y'all. Like, I gotta this is so fucking annoying to me.
I agree with that last comment.
Yo, what did I text y'all? What did I text y'all?
Nah, we're not happy, man.
Nobody's
fucking happy. I don't want to see nobody's happy. Like, this is insane to me. It's so weird that
crazy
people
to come
think about this.
You come with this kind of energy too, bro. Go pray. Go find God. What the fuck are you talking about?
So fucking insane. Off of that comment, Leo, you got 5 seconds. Go ahead.
No. That last comment that homie said about
who?
The last comment that homie said about JV playing, he plays stiff. I agree, and I hate it also, but I think it's just rhythm, man. It's rhythm. You really can't find much of a rhythm in 18 minutes in the NBA game. 15 minutes before that, you got 4 shot attempts. So,
and one of them, he abused whoever was guarding him in the post. Like, he got it, and it was an easy back to the basket, spin around, hook, went in. You would have liked to see them kind of go back, especially when the Magic win the bonus, but you just never saw that.
Man, he plays stiff, and it takes him 18 minutes to get a rhythm. Is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
That's
wow.
Wild that we're gonna let that run. Wow.
Everybody grieving right now, bro.
I want to thank the Lord. I want to thank Coach Harbaugh. Fucking love you, man.
My bad, Ross.
Justin, we're gonna have to put this thing on as like PG-13 when you submit it.
So JV in the last 5 games though, for real, 15 minutes, 18 minutes, 18 minutes, 17 minutes, 18 minutes. He hadn't played 20 minutes.
What's going on with that?
Hold on. He hadn't played 20 minutes since March 5th.
That's crazy, though, man.
JV has not played 20 minutes.
That's inexcusable.
March 5th.
That's inexcusable. We lucky that JV's a fucking professional like true professional, because that's
That's
totally
it.
inexcusable. Totally inexcusable.
That's a question that has to be answered by the staff. There's no way. Like somebody's got to act like that. How can that go unanswered? I mean,
March 5th.
That's unbelievable, because that's not just like a game, right? That's not, here's a back-to-back. We play, we didn't want to 15 minutes tonight, right? This is a trend. But why? Like imagine, think about the outrage if Herb went from 26 minutes to like 17 minutes, right? Or CJ went from 28 minutes a game to 16 minutes a game. Like, imagine the questions that would be coming. To me, this is
malpractice.
This is inexcusable, and it really needs to be. I think it needs to be addressed as far as a question in the post game, or something that like there has to be an answer to this. What happened? Is he injured? Is he not productive anymore? Are you guys seeing lineups that are more successful? Like, this is the type of thing that I get really frustrated with, right? Because why, right? Is
in the month of January, he was averaging 30 minutes a night.
That's what I'm saying. This is not
23.
Again, it'd be one thing if it was, he was playing 30 minutes. We thought that was not sustainable. We backed that down to 25 minutes a game. We wanted to start looking at some different lineups, protect JV a little more. His playing time has gotten cut in half. And are we better? Are we better for that?
Dog, listen to this comment. We got to face it. JV's a liability. They don't play him because of the matchup. He doesn't match up with anybody. He's a liability, and we switch coverage. We play drop coverage. He's not even switching
with both people.
You put Larry in the game. He's playing drop coverage. You're not even switching, bro. I said this last podcast. What are you gaining from playing said player? He's not been a plus when he subs in for JV. You say JV is a liability. Okay. I got some news for y'all. It's only one person in the starting lineup who's not a liability on defense. Everybody's a liability. Taking Larry out for JV don't make that shit better. I ain't seen. We went over the minutes. We read the minutes last game. It was 406 of them with the starting lineup, and JV was a plus. Every stat where Larry starts or takes his spot has been a minus. What are you gaining when you say he's a liability?
I personally feel like even with like the newfound involvement with Zion and shit like that, I think that was done like begrudgingly. Like, I think Willie Green has just shown a total hesitancy to embrace good like basketball, or better utilized some of his best players. Again, you go to some of Trey's the lack of progression earlier on was due to thank you, SJ. It was due to playing like Gary Clark playing ahead of him. You know what I'm saying? Tony Snell, some of the guys, and you're just like, yo, what the fuck here? So like, again, it's almost like you're setting yourself up to go into the offseason saying, well, should they bring JV back? Because we don't know if it could work. It could. It's just a bunch of goofy shit. So it's almost like, all right, look, we'll do the whole quote unquote point Zion thing, but we still not going to play JV, or we're going to play JV even less, to no benefit. Again, it's not like these Larry lineups are fucking working. It's not like you just setting the world on fire. So I don't understand it. And
JV can also just like it can slow you down a little bit. Like JV kind of slows the game down a little bit, like when it's up and down. And I just think he's a different pace sometimes. Like I don't think if Brandon's out for a while, I just don't see how I can get 18 minutes. But I know y'all call me crazy. Last question, Ross. Appreciate the sports burner. Look at the schedule. Pels are 2 losses from the play-in. I bet they might be in the play-in. Would you take the Pels against any of those teams?
I really hate to answer this question, because I would much rather play, and I'm sure some of the folks in the comments and everybody else will argue with me. I would much rather play some of the teams ahead of us in the standings than some of the teams behind us in the standings. I really would. And we can have a much longer conversation about that. But I don't really want to play the Suns. I don't really want to play the Lakers in a series. I'm uncomfortable with playing the the Mavericks now that Kyrie's back and he's fully healthy, and they traded for Daniel Gafford and they've got PJ Washington. I'm still very nervous about one game against the Golden State Warriors. You just become so you become just at risk to a crazy Curry game, which we've seen time and time again in his career. This team has to, I think, sell out to avoid that play-in situation. I really do, because I think you could find yourself as the 7 seed in a play-in situation and be at home 4 days later. You really could.
Yeah, I mean the 7 through 10, like you got to avoid the play-in. It is an absolute nightmare. It's an awesome PNR. I know. We're now in 6. Lito, 5 seconds. Go ahead.
Hey, listen. Couple things. I know I got 5 seconds, but I need a couple things. Shout out to Joe, Future Metro.
Yeah, appreciate you, Joe.
This is a holiday. You got March Madness. You got the king of March Madness, and he's dropping an album during March Madness with Young Metro. We appreciate that, Future. Thank you for coming back around to save us. Most importantly, and this is important, we have credit for sale. It is $25. It is on the website. X, I heard you bought a shirt. I read the comment you wanted me to sign it. If you're on Twitter, DM me your name, dog. I'm gonna sign a shirt for you. I'm gonna make sure everybody sign a shirt, and we gonna get the shirt out to you. BooCrewMedia.com. Get you some credit.
See y'all tomorrow night.